Amir here from Adonis Athletics for another episode, teaching you today about the hip hinge. The hip hinge is extremely important in so many exercises. It is the movement pattern of the hip hinge itself obviously transfers to the triple extension, and that's something that's used heaps in sporting performances, in producing power, and it's where in a particular movement pattern of the hip hinge, all the strongest musculature of the body are used, everything around the hips. So we get a lot of people who come, especially newcomers, who we try to get them to deadlift or squat, especially in the deadlift though. They tend to be very quad dominant, and so when they come to actually do the deadlift, they just squat up and down. So the hip just goes up and down, just changes levels, and the knees travel forward too much. And so these people need to obviously get taught how to be able to engage the posterior chain, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back, and be able to do a proper hip hinge, which is this motion here, to be able to bar from obviously this point here to pass the knees, and then be able to finish the deadlift by bending at the knees a little bit more. This is one of the drills we use, one of the main drills we use for the hip hinge. Alright, so what you do is, to teach the hip hinge, we use a simple bench, put it behind the athlete, and get them to stand with their calf against the bench. There must be no gap between their calf and the bench. And also, you want the knee to be more or less on top of the ankle, so they're not really leaning back, and the shin's not really forward either. So shin must be vertical as possible, whilst they're maintaining decent balance. So from here, you get them to picture an imaginary wall behind them, and they want to reach for that wall with their butt. Alright? So keeping their chest up, keeping the back straight, you just tell them to reach back without causing any gap here. So this must not happen. So all they're doing is they're just going back. The shin stays vertical, this calf remains in contact with the bench at all times. Also, preferably, it must not push the bench back like this, so their leg must not straighten. So they start here, back, and to a straight position again. Back, to a straight position again. So to teach them to keep a rigid torso, before you teach them bracing, obviously, imagine they have eyes on their chest, and they want to look up with their eyes as they're going down. So this never happens. So up here, reaching back, no gap between the calves and the bench at all times, and the bench is not getting lifted up. This shin stays vertical. And as they do it, they should feel a stretch in their bench the whole time. And you should feel that these musculatures here are always being engaged as they're going up and down. So that's a very simple way to start to teach the hip hinge. That's what we use, and it's got a great success rate, but obviously it requires ongoing coaching and cueing and things like that. Try it out, let us know how it goes. Problems with front squat grip issues. Obviously